What's quack-a-lackin'? What's quack-a-lackin'? We are in Pipestone, Minnesota this week. I did not do a behind the scenes for last week's video at the Samuelson cabin, if I can speak. I just did like a quick little 5-minute video before I shot that one. And I had mentioned in that I was gonna try to do Pipestone the next day because I really need to get stacked up 1 week ahead, at least in my production queue, in case I have a week with bad weather or something like that. I don't have to stress. But I was just too tired. I had signed up for an extra shift at work that night, so we are now full on 1 week ahead, still doing the same as always. I am out filming on Monday for a video that's gonna go live on Wednesday, and on top of that time crunch, I'm getting a late start. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon. And I'm worried about running out of daylight because it usually takes me about 3 hours, 3.5 hours to make one of these vlogs. I probably really shouldn't even be adding a behind the scenes on top of it because that's just going to add on to it. But I skipped the behind the scenes last week. I didn't want to do that 2 weeks in a row. So anyway, I'm really excited. I'm always happy to be in Pipestone, and this town has a really incredible history. It was started by Civil War veterans who just wanted a place to have a fresh start and begin a new life. So it's got a really great history. I love this town. It's absolutely beautiful town, and I can't wait to show it. And speaking of which, let me just show you a quick glimpse of it here on this channel. The wind is really pushing hard, but I trust in my microphone. It's never let me down yet. But this is downtown historic Pipestone. These buildings are all stone construction, locally quarried stone, and they were constructed in the 1880s to 1890s. This is the entrance of the Calumet Hotel, which is presumed to be haunted. Locals tell me it's haunted. But yeah, as you can see, this is a beautiful location. This is like being on the set of a movie lot. So I am really, really excited to be here in Pipestone, Minnesota today. People drove into my frame, and it was obvious they were in my frame. They were just smiling. But so here's the thing: I'm still trying to work on my intros. So I need to do 2 intros. I always do one before I get started. That's historically what I've always done, and I'm going to keep with that. But I also need to form that habit, as I previously mentioned, of doing a second intro after I filmed everything else and know everything that's going to happen in the video, then film a second intro, and so I have a choice of them. I have 2 to choose from, and I've done that twice so far, and both times the second one has been the one that I went with. So I'm going to keep that going and keep that habit going. I still need to work on getting working the presumed title of the video into the first line of the intro, or certainly within the first 2 lines, but first line is preferable. I'm still not going to be very good at that today either, because I have no idea what the title of this video is going to be. I put 0 thought into it. So I'm just going to go. Like I say, it's after 4:30. I'm getting a late start. I'm worried about running out of sunlight. So I need to get started on the vlog. I need to get the first intro going and just get acclimated to the area and figure out how I'm going to lay this story out. I do, as always, I have notes. I have notes to carry me through, and a good portion of those notes are just a listing of the main historic buildings in, ooh, the wind. Yeah, it's pushing me. Hi, welcome to the Midwest. But it's mostly a list of the main historic buildings in the downtown area. What year they were made, and 1 or 2 sentences of information about each one, just so that I can do more than show the building. I can tell a slight bit about it, because that's really the focus on the channel, right? With Quackers World, I show beautiful places in the world around me, and I tell a little bit of a history behind those places, because I think it adds a layer of depth. It's one thing to go to a place and say, wow, this place is beautiful. It's something else to go there and say, wow, this place is beautiful, and let me tell you something about it. So I think it adds a layer of depth to a location to tell people these things, and that's really the main point of the Quackers World vlog. So anyway, I think I'm going to get going. This museum behind me across the street, I think will be good enough background to do the first intro, especially since I know I'm probably going to go with the second one anyway, so I'm just not even going to stress. And that's something else about doing it that way. It takes the edge off of the anxiety. If you already know you're probably going to go with the other one, you don't worry about it and you just let it flow, and that's when you go into that flow state. where things just happen, and I have that ability in me to channel that. But when I'm doing the Quackers World vlog, I get so distracted by keeping track of my surroundings, keeping myself in the frame, trying to remember years and names, and it just inhibits that flow state. So I need to just relax and learn how to bring that flow state into my videos. But anyway, enough babbling. Let me get to the Quackers World vlog and get this going. Apparently the market price for a buffalo skull is $300 if you're in the market. All right, so it took me 3 takes, but I did that first intro. Again, I'm going to do another one at the end, and that's probably going to end up being the one I go with. So, so angled weird. Need to learn to look at it once in a while. So I did the intro. I showed a quick clip of downtown. Then I went back to a walk and talk section where I told how Charles Bennett came to town in 1873. He was the very first person to settle this area permanently. Before him, it had only been the Nicollet expedition passing through. So he came in 1873, and he was followed thereafter, quickly thereafter, by his fellow veteran, Daniel Sweet. So that's where we're at. I think next, before I tell any more of that story, I need to show 1 or maybe 2 of the historic buildings and tell a little bit about them, just to break up the pace a little bit and slow down the pace of the story. Otherwise, it's going to end too fast. So I have a list of these historic buildings. They're in no particular order, and I'm not sure which one is closest. There's an incredible one right in front of me. So I'm going to bust out the notes. Notes save you every time. Always keep notes. Don't write out a script. Just make you some bullet point notes. That's all I do, and it'll carry you through. So I'm going to get out my notes and review the section that has the list of the historic buildings that I want to cover in the video. And I'm going to figure out 1 or maybe 2 of them to interject into this video next. Do some shots of them. Maybe take some additional B-roll of each one so that I can have it to overlay whatever I'm talking about. And yeah, and then I'll jump back into the story of the town's formation. Loud truck. What is it with this channel and loud trucks? So after that, then I'll jump back into the story of Charles Bennett and Daniel Sweet and how they promoted this area as a magnet for Civil War veterans to flock to. So we'll get into all that, but first I need to show a few buildings. This town really embraces the culture of the sacred pipe. Boy, I am always blinded by the sun, but better me than you. So I'm trying to learn my lesson about that backlighting. I'd rather have it shining in my eyes than to be shining from behind me. So here's where I'm at. I showed the syndicate block, which is the historic building that I was down at. It was a quartzite building constructed in 1884, so that makes it the oldest quartzite building in the historic district. So I wanted to make sure that I covered that, told a little bit about that. I only showed the 1 building, not 2, and then I transitioned back to the story, and I told how Bennett and Sweet came to this area in 1873. They found the life that they were looking for. So in 1876, they started platting this town out, designing the streets, laying everything out into lots. And that they promoted this town to other Civil War veterans as a place that they could go to make a fresh start and have a new beginning. And so And then I did mention that they were successful in this because this idea is certainly appealing to a veteran that's struggling with PTSD, right? As many Civil War veterans surely were, even though that wasn't something that was diagnosed at that time. You have to know it existed. So that was very appealing, and 300 veterans brought their wives, their children, and just left where they were at to come here and develop this town from the ground up. So that's where I left off. Now I'm going to show one or two other buildings again, just to have a break in the story, and then I will pick it up from there, because really the next transition point for this town's history is the railroad coming. So I'm going to show a few of the historic buildings here in town real quick, and then figure out about that transition, because I'm not sure exactly where the railroad tracks are at in relation to where I'm at. but maybe I should go film the railroad tracks a little bit for that part of the story. I'm not sure. And also a few blocks away from here is the Courthouse, which is by far the most stunning building in town. I cannot make a Pipestone video without showing that Courthouse, so I have to transition that direction at some point too. So anyway, for now I'm going to show, let me just see if I can get it behind me. There is the haunted Calumet Hotel. Ooh, wrong way. Haunted Calumet Hotel there behind me, and there are some other old buildings down around there. I will tell a little bit about each one of those as I go, and then I'll check back in with you guys here over on this channel. So there we go. Proceeding on, trying to get it done before I run out of daylight. So far, my camera hasn't cut out that I've noticed, so all is good. All is good. Let's keep it moving. Ooh, the wind. It's so windy. I'm trying to trust in my mic, but man, when the wind bursts like that, I just don't know. Anyway, here's what I've done. I've showed some really interesting buildings downtown. I showed the Calumet Hotel, mentioned how it's believed to be haunted, but I can't stay there to find out. I showed the Moore building, which is really unique because it's a quartzite building. Wow, it's a quartzite building, but but it has these sandstone carvings of gargoyles and interesting characters. The guy that made this was just like a really eccentric type of person, I imagine. So it's a really unique building. So I showed that, and then I showed the old city hall. But man, the sun's starting to get low in the sky. I'm really starting to feel a lot of anxiety about running out of time. I got a late start and it's only getting later. I'm not even sure what time it is right now. Wow, let's see. It's 5:45. I'm an hour and 15 minutes into this, so I guess I'm not too far off. But the sun's getting low. I'm worried I'm gonna run out of daylight. So I showed those buildings. I'm walking over towards the courthouse now because the courthouse is, to me, the most beautiful building in town. It has to be in the video. And I'm going to continue with the story of the history of Pipestone along the way to the courthouse. The railroads is next. I'll have to refer to my notes. So that's what I'm going to stop and do now, as I often do many times. I refer to my notes almost as many times as I do retakes on this channel. And believe me, I did a lot of retakes today. I mean, everything I filmed, I did at least 3 to 5 retakes of each one. When you watch it, you think these lines are so easy to deliver, but somehow they're not. They're just not. So anyway, let me check my notes. The courthouse is about 2 blocks away, so I got plenty of time to tell about the town, and then I will end up at the courthouse and show the courthouse and tell what I know about that, point out some of the things about it, and we'll just see how it comes together. At least I'm out, right? I'm out. This is week 16. Week 16. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Who would have ever thought, man? I put this off for so many years. Felt so much anxiety about wanting to do it, but not actually taking the step of pressing record. And now I'm on a 16-week streak, man. I'm so excited. So let me check my notes, and I'll check back with you guys, blah, 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 whenever I can. All right, people driving by waving, man. I love this town. Pipestone is awesome. Okay, so I went ahead, I told about the railroad, how that allowed this town to grow and prosper. I let myself get distracted by this Sherman tank that was on the courthouse lawn. I always welcome those distractions. I do. I welcome those distractions because people's brains have been wired for these short attention spans. So sometimes you need things to break up the story. So I showed that tank. There's a really interesting statue here of a Civil War soldier from the Union Army, which in those days they referred to as the Grand Army of the Republic. So I showed this sculpture, showed the courthouse, told a little bit about it. I mean, I wanted to show it on this channel as well because just look how incredibly majestic this building is. This building was constructed 1900 to 1902, and it's just stunning. It's gorgeous. Imagine if it was a house and you could live in something like that. So anyway, I've wrapped up everything that I know to say in terms of the history of this town. I've only shown about half of the historic buildings that I had intended to show in this video, but I'm afraid I'm running out of sunlight. I don't want to close the video out in the dark, so I might have time to show one or two more. I don't know. There's one right here on the corner I can see. I don't know anything about it. It looks like it must have been a church or something. So, but I can see that there's a plaque on the front. So I'll go read that plaque and see what that building's about and kind of think about how I want to tie up and close off the Pipestone video, because I got to get that closed out and still have enough daylight behind me to film my second take on the intro, because otherwise I'm going to have to use the first intro because it's going to be the only one where the lighting matters. I can't start the video when it's half dark and then poof, all of a sudden it's broad daylight again. That won't work. And I don't know if I'm gonna have really any outtakes to throw at the end of this video. I like to put outtakes up at the end of the behind the scenes video, but even though I've done endless retakes, I don't really have any outtakes, I don't think. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm gonna check out this building over here. It looks like a church, and I'm gonna put some thought into wrapping this video up. And I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna do that. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up somehow. All right. I'll let you know how it comes together. Okay, so I went ahead and I did the second intro. I've already done that. I still haven't closed the video yet. I'm about to do that. I'm just waiting for this train in the background. Thought I would record something for you guys while the train is going. You get the train. Quackers World gets the clean audio. That's how it works, I guess. But so I got to do the video close, and that's it. Then I'm officially, it's under wraps. I just got to edit it. I showed a couple of more random buildings that I don't know anything about. Don't know what year they were. They're very simple brick constructions. There's nothing fancy or elaborate or ornate, but they are probably 120, 125 years old. They're not always going to be there. So I thought, why not capture them and document them while they are here? So that was all of my thinking on that. And yeah, I got to close out the video now. I got to do some type of close to wrap it all up. I don't know what I'm going to say, but I'm just going to try to. I've failed today at this flow state through all the retakes. I just lost track of the flow state, forgot all about it till just now. So maybe that's where the flow state will come in, or else we'll get back to it next week. I've had infinite number of cars. I've lost track of how many cars today drove by and waved at me, but I haven't actually face-to-face encountered a single person in order to have an interaction. So nothing to overcome my struggle this week. No opportunities with that, but that's okay because I had a late start to the day and I really needed to kind of rush through this video and just get it done. And I was going to go inside the Prairie Maiden store, Prairie Maiden Treasures, and show the inside of that store, but because I got a late start, they were closed before I even got here. And that's okay, because I've been thinking about doing a third Pipestone video, because I've done the National Monument. Now I've come and I've done the downtown, and I'm thinking about coming back in a few weeks and doing a video that ties back to the National Monument video, where I do something along the lines of searching for sacred pipes in Pipestone, because there's 3 places in town where you can get an authentically crafted pipe, and I want to make a video and show all 3 of these places. And so I might do that in the future. But as of today, no opportunities to interact with anyone, no opportunities to go inside anywhere, but that's okay. I've got through the video. The train sounds like it's faded way off in the distance now, so I'm going to think of some way to close this out and wrap it up. And yeah, then week 16 will be in the books. It will. Week 16 will be in the books. So yeah, I'm sorry that the behind the scenes, the thought process, I'm so blind, wasn't really a lot to share, and I don't think I have a lot of outtakes to laugh at either, but we'll see how that comes together. We'll see how they both come together. You never know till you get it edited. But yeah, thank you so much for coming with me on this journey today. I really appreciate you being here with me. You give me the confidence to push through. If not for doing these behind the scenes videos and having you with me sharing this journey, I don't know if I could do it, because I feel like I've got someone there that's just pushing me, and I appreciate you being here for that. So thank you so much for watching. If you have watched this video to the end and you've enjoyed it, please tap the subscribe button. Follow me on this journey, and hopefully I inspire some of you to take your own journey. But either way, whether you subscribe or not, thank you so much for watching. It really does mean a lot to me. I love you guys. Quackers out. What was I going to say for my intro? I forgot how I was going to introduce it. All right, let's just see what comes out. So today we're going to take a little walk through town. I stumbled. It was flowing too. It was flowing. Okay, let's go again. Take three. Let's try this. Third time's a charm. Let's go. Let's get it. To settle this area. Prior to him, the Nicolette expedition had came through, and I don't like my reflection in that glass. Man, and they all have that glass. It's widely considered today to be the single most majestic cut. Is that the thumbnail? I don't know. It's just something about holding it in my right hand. I always feel like the angle is better. We all say we have our good side, right? This is my good side. Don't you feel sorry for me?